my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulations, my heart, my balls, my somebody stop me, somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The dark, the light, my heart, the fight, the wrong, the right is gone.
Welcome back, people, to another JVS movie review. This time we are bringing you a review of the latest blockbuster from James Mangold, the director of Logan, Wolverine, and so many other films, but I only want to talk about Logan and Wolverine for Ford versus Ferrari, or Ford v Ferrari, but I'm not saying V because last time I said V in the movie it was Batman v Superman, so we're just going to say Ford versus Ferrari. This is a telling story. Let me give you the synopsis of the film for you all that don't know the story of Ford versus Ferrari. The film tells how automotive designer Carroll Shelby and his race car driver Ken Miles leads a team of American engineers and designers from Ford to build a race car that can compete and beat the legendary Ferrari brand. It kind of states what the movie is, really. This is a story that people who are into cars, they know the story. People who are not into cars may not know this story. But the story is about how back in the 60s, Ferrari was on the verge of being bankrupt. So Enzo Ferrari is approached by Ford in Ford's attempt to get into the Le Mans race, which is the 24-hour race that they still do to this day. And Ford wanted to get into the race, and the best way for them to get into the race and own a race car was to buy Ferrari. At the time, Ferrari was, again, bankrupt. Enzo was interested a little bit in selling the company, but instead he used Ford to leverage Fiat into buying his company. And at the time, calling the executives at Ford and everybody ugly, stupid Americans who know nothing about building a good car. So you can just imagine how that played with Henry Ford Jr. For people that don't know, by this time, Henry Ford had passed away and the company was run by Henry Ford Jr., who always lived in his dad's shadow. That's not expounded upon in the film, but it's brought up in a couple of scenes so you can understand why he went to the lengths he went with Ford to do this. And then we get Carroll Shelby, who at the time was building his own cars, as he ends up being approached by Ford. By Lee Iacocca, another name that people should know at this point, to build a race car for Ford. And then we get the process of trying to put this car together for Ford. That's what this movie is, people. It is for like the last hour, because it's about a 2 hour and 45-minute movie. For about the last hour, it is a race movie. Before then, it is what does it take to get this car to be in this race. And that's some of the best work you'll ever see, bar none. James Mangold, who to me is one of the best directors in Hollywood, the way he shoots the scenes with these cars are racing or moving in production is amazing. The sound editing, and I don't talk about sound editing, people. That is not the subject we need to talk about. But the sound editing and sound mixing for this movie is some of the best I've ever heard. It's amazing. They get every look. You feel like you're right next to the car when it's going off, when it's switching gears, and that's highly important. Along with great performances, Christian Bale, who plays Ken Miles, a crazy driver, super crazy driver. And all of these people actually exist, also, for you all that don't know. All these people actually exist. These are real people that they are playing. And Ken Miles was known as a crazy driver, and Christian Bale plays him perfectly. Matt Damon, who is playing Carroll Shelby in this movie, the best way I could put it is it feels like a movie star is in this movie. And I don't know if that translates well when I say it that way, but Matt Damon is a movie star. And in this movie, he is a movie star. It is ridiculous how good Matt Damon is in this movie. Again, it compares to what he did in The Martian, where he's Matt Damon, he's deep into character, but you just, every time he's on screen, geez Louise, you just like, man, that's a movie star. That's how I feel as he's playing Carroll Shelby, who, in all honesty, is a real-life movie star, so you needed someone with that ability to play a movie star to play him. So Matt Damon knocks this out the park. Those two playing off of each other at times, the laughing, the everything else, the process we see that Ford went through to get this car made, amazing. Like this is a film for American audiences to feel proud to be American. That's it. It's that simple. That's what this movie is about. This is hopefully will get people interested in a brand that, you know, unfortunately has taken a hit over the years and at times is seen as a cartoonish brand. That back in those days, Ford was a huge brand. They just needed a little bit of change, and you see that even brought up in the film as Christian Bale's character Ken Miles makes fun of the Ford brand and how they make cars and what they do with cars and why they could never be a real car company. And then you see the transition happening from them building this car, them running the race. I'm not going to tell you all how the race ends because it's in history books. I need you to look that up. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Just look it up and see, and you'll find out what happens to all these amazing people in this movie. You should know what happens with Shelby because a Shelby Mustang comes out like every year. So you should know clearly his relationship with Ford worked out rather well for him. But as a film, again, from the technical standpoint, sound editing, amazing. Cinematography, amazing. Score, great. Acting performances, great. There is not an obvious flaw in this movie besides the length of it. It is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. It did not need to be that long, but the things that you would have lost, I don't know if it outweighs me actually seeing it on film. It was very weird. I know it's too long, but I loved everything I saw. It puts you in that weird place of you trying to figure out what works. But Ford versus Ferrari, 3.5 out of 4. Pretty dope. This has been the JVS Movie Review. Ford versus Ferrari. Please check it out. Peace.